The pandemic has taken a serious toll on Central Florida's workforce and businesses. But as we all emerge from a year of challenges in our personal and professional lives, it's time to look for resources and opportunities for both employees and employers. Tonight, we'll let you know how one local organization can help jumpstart careers and return to business plans in this 9Family Connection special, Getting Central Florida Back to Work. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special we hope will highlight the unique services of a group called CareerSource Central Florida, an organization that helped more than 44,000 career seekers since July 1st and assisted more than 2,200 businesses during the same time period. We recently spoke to the president and CEO of this group to get an overview of its services, which are free, and how they can benefit you if you're looking to re-enter the job market, get specialized training, or hire workers to get your business back up and running. They've been doing the work since 1996 with an end goal of connecting people looking for work with businesses looking for workers. But what happens here at CareerSource Central Florida is much more than just a basic employment service. There's career coaching for those who are looking for a new job, but also looking at the possibility of an entirely new career. There's what's called upskilling, providing workers with new skills and training they need to make that transition to a different career. And if that new job or new career means you need special certification, they've partnered with local colleges and technical schools to provide that too. Pam Neighbors is the president and CEO.
Our role in the workforce system is we are in some ways a neutral broker. We work with community partners, with our educational partners, our government partners, and most especially business partners, to bring everyone to the table to figure out where is there a training need, where is there a workforce need, and then identify how we marshal resources around that and create a solution.
All of these pieces were already in place before the pandemic hit. So when a devastating number of people in the theme park and hospitality industries, for example, were hit with unemployment, CareerSource was ready to guide them.
So many people need to look for new opportunities, and so the resources that we have actually help people to look at other careers that are growing in this region, say construction or healthcare, technology, or trade and logistics, and see if there are ways that they can take the skills and talents that they have and transition them into the workforce now.
And once they're prepared and trained, job placement is a major part of the program. CareerSource is working with thousands, yes, thousands of businesses looking for skilled workers here in Central Florida. Many of them small and mid-sized organizations, nonprofits, and even government agencies, which all had to change the way they do business in the pandemic.
So during the pandemic in particular, we created internships that were putting workers that had lost their jobs to work, but also responding to needs created by the pandemic. So we partnered with Four Roots Foundation, for example, provided drivers to drive groceries to people who couldn't get to food locations. And those internships are also used with businesses to try out workers, and we do that with small businesses in particular so that they can actually have a sense to see how that person works and learns on the job. The person is earning dollars, the business is trying them out, and often they're hired on the job.
And it's an economic win for both sides. The services are provided at no cost to the people looking for jobs, even if they need additional training or certification, and at no cost to the companies looking for new employees. That's possible because CareerSource is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. They get sponsorships and grants, but major funding comes from the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And here's a look at the impact CareerSource is having in the 5 Central Florida counties it serves: Orange, Osceola, Lake, Sumter, and Seminole. They call it its 5-county footprint, and that footprint is huge. In March of last year, they were on track to serve about 40,000 people looking for work, training, and/or counseling. But then the pandemic hit. By the end of June, when their fiscal year ends, that number, 79,500 people right here in our community. And since July, they've already served 44,000. On the business side, they usually have about 4,000 business clients a year. But since July, they've already helped 2,200 with several months left to go in the fiscal year. The numbers seem daunting, but Neighbors says for those who've upskilled, the pandemic actually brought new opportunities.
At the convention center, we had individuals in medical office assisting who have now are in the job market and are transitioning into that. We're looking to partner with our hospitals, Orlando Health and Advent Health, as well as doctors' offices and clinics around the region. But also truck driving. We actually had a full CDL set up out at the convention center, and as you can imagine, there are a lot of jobs in not only truck driving but in the transportation industry, since many of us are depending on our home delivery of everything from our meal to our groceries.
Coming up after this break, we'll drill down into CareerSource's services for folks looking for careers and looking to switch careers with the help of Eyewitness News reporter Deanna Albritton.
So you didn't have the money to be able to pursue exactly what you wanted to.
Right.
You didn't have the time.
Correct.
That story and much more next. Welcome back to our 9Family Connection special, Getting Central Florida Back to Work. We first introduce you to CareerSource, what they do, how they're connecting people to jobs. But numbers are one thing. Seeing the success stories unfold for yourself is another. Eyewitness News reporter Deanna Albritton met with a few people who have made this change during the pandemic. One is a longtime theme park worker who's made what may seem like a big shift from the outset to healthcare. But she says her job in entertainment helped prepare her for her new career.
I was shooting pyro at Universal Studios, and then they obviously weren't doing any pyro shows, because they didn't want the gathering of people. So I was furloughed.
So in your mind at the beginning, did you think you were going back fairly soon?
I knew it probably would be a while, or else I didn't know what other job I'd be doing either. So I wasn't sure what would happen.
At first, Lisa Fern Cologne's story was like tens of thousands of other Floridians who were furloughed when the economy ground to a halt. But here's where her story diverges from many.
For almost 30 years, I worked at Universal Studios. Yes.
And now you're wearing a different uniform.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Yes, very different.
How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels really good.
Even though it's so new.
Yes, it's very new. Been 2 weeks exactly.
Cologne says her experience with medical staff during her daughter's illness many years ago had her already thinking about pursuing a career in the medical field throughout at least half of her theme park career. She says she took healthcare-related classes paid by Universal, but never took the full leap.
Because every time I looked at how to do it, it either cost way too much money, or I had to, for the nursing, I tried to even get into that, I had to take almost a whole year off of work, so that I couldn't do that because I couldn't afford to do that.
So you didn't have the money to be able to pursue exactly what you wanted to.
Right.
And you didn't have the time.
Correct.
What changed?
COVID. COVID gave me the opportunity because I was furloughed, so I had the time. Somebody from Valencia called me, and they said somebody from CareerSource will be getting a hold of you. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what that means, but okay. No, I had never heard of CareerSource in my life. So this gentleman from CareerSource got a hold of me, and he said that if I qualified through all these steps, that I could possibly qualify to have all these classes paid for free. And at first I thought it may be a gimmick or something.
Like a scam.
Yeah, right.
It couldn't be real.
Right, it can't be real.
But as we're showing you tonight, it is very real.
A lot of people from the tourism and hospitality industry have been impacted, and the economy is not recovering at the same rate.
So CareerSource used its resources already in place to find ways to help those who wanted to continue their line of work, if at all possible.
Central Florida Community Arts was actually able to put out-of-work performers to work with Central Florida Community Arts as the community arts organization, creating both theater productions that were virtual as well as socially distanced concert productions.
But CEO Pam Neighbor says they've been able to help a lot of people like Lisa change careers entirely with free training workshops, including this massive one at the Orange County Convention Center last year. Some people, they're training for the short term, pivoting to jobs in high demand during the pandemic.
We actually had a full CDL set up out at the convention center. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of jobs in not only truck driving, but in the transportation industry, since many of us are depending on our home delivery of everything from our meal to, our groceries.
But other job seekers are doing a career 180 for the long term. And Neighbor says people usually have more transferable skills than they realize.
And, I think in the hospitality industry, there are a lot of customer service skills that individuals can transition very well into healthcare kinds of positions.
Which, of course, is exactly what Cologne did, taking advantage of the convention center training to become a certified medical assistant.
Every day I came home and just sat there and studied, came home and worked and passed the classes, and you're qualified to take care of, patients, to see them and take care of them, and when they come in, make sure that everything, all their vitals are taken care of, make sure that their blood pressure and all that's taken care of. Once seekers have the skills, CareerSource helps them prepare to get the job, polishing off skills some haven't used in a long time. It's been 15 years since I'd written a resume. It was like the first time I had to do an interview that I didn't interview with people that didn't know me. And at all times, CareerSource offers resume writing and interview prep services at its 5 locations in Central Florida.
And so people can come in and sit down and talk with somebody or utilize a computer connected to high-speed internet.
The goal is to have tens of thousands of more success stories like Cologne's and help people get back to a steady paycheck however they can. It's never too late to change careers.
Up next, how a CareerSource summer program will help hundreds of local high school teenagers gain invaluable experience as they begin to plan their futures.
I learned more about customer service and how to present yourself.
The details of that program coming up. Let's see what she learned about this resource open to high school teenagers across our area.
For many teens, pursuing one's dream can be difficult when you're still trying to figure out which direction to even go in.
It was just party.
Back in 2018, Matthew McCuskey was fresh out of high school and fresh out of ideas.
So in high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and there were just so many options, and either go to college, go to construction.
He was cleaning pools just to make ends meet. But now,
we're doing the Orlando International Airport Terminal C expansion for JetBlue.
Matthew is a certified welder thanks to CareerSource Central Florida and its year-round youth program.
But CareerSource gave me a good insight in what I wanted to do and get a career started and get the qualifications and training I needed.
Job training skills that kept him on the right track.
It got me the welding certifications I needed, and it helped me join the union, which I'm in now, Local 803, as a pipe fitter apprentice. I've done hospitals, roller coasters, airports.
He says he now has skills and certifications that give him purpose.
I just love coming to work every day and knowing that I'm making something that's going to be used for millions of people coming in and out of the airport and other places.
Now, Matthew was a part of the year-round youth program, but there is also a summer youth program for high schoolers ages 15 to 19. The program helps teens gain exposure to college experiences and multiple career pathways in high-growth industries. You can also receive professional internships and take part in specialized career training.
I've just been swimming since I was 5.
Now, prior to being approved for the summer youth program, students like 15-year-old Roger Mahan are required to complete soft skills training. Roger recently graduated from the program and is ready to work.
Went more in depth, taught me how to write a check, business stuff that I didn't know about.
The program has partnered with different businesses around Central Florida to offer employment to teens like Roger, who plans to make money as a lifeguard this summer.
Just get more money over the summer, help my mom pay the bills, and then pay for the private school next year.
Some of the topics discussed during the 3-week training program include preparing for the interview, goal setting, resumes and cover letters, cultural diversity and conflict resolution, and on-the-job success.
I think you get a sense of the responsibility.
Pam Neighbors, the president and CEO of CareerSource Central Florida, insists targeted training for teens is key.
It is such a critical opportunity for many young people who often do not have that opportunity in the summer in particular, or even after school. And so, to have that real work experience, learning how to work, it can be a life changer, really.
This year, the goal is to find paid employment for 1,500 teens who live in Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Lake, and Sumter counties. Karen Parks, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
CareerSource has more than 800 applications already for its summer youth program. But as Karen just mentioned, the goal is to fill 1,500 slots. For more information on how to apply, you can go to CareerSourceCentralFlorida.com/summeryouth.
It was hard answering the phones, scheduling appointments, as well as doing speaking engagements in the community, scheduling those.
Coming up in our final segment, how local businesses can benefit from CareerSource services in helping to hire qualified employees. That and much more next. Florida has not just been helping people who found themselves out of work during the pandemic. They're also helping out businesses. It's a win-win, especially for many small and medium-sized operations that may not have large HR departments. Some were hit hard by the pandemic. Others were dealing with unexpected growth. Deanna Albritton met with one business owner whom CareerSource helped, and she says her experience will likely lead to her creating a permanent position.
While many businesses struggled with revenue loss in the early days of the pandemic, therapist Shirlette McCullough had the opposite problem as she moved into her makeshift home office.
Well, from late March last year, starting, my business just took off. I mean, I had an influx of new clients, and basically because of what was going on with a lot of couples and a lot of families. And at that time, being a solopreneur, it was hard answering the phones, scheduling appointments, as well as doing speaking engagements in the community, scheduling those, doing proposals, answering people, it was just a lot. And I needed the help. I definitely needed the help.
McCullough said not only were more people seeking counseling, but many therapists she knew were burning out from the emotional toll of helping people through the toughest year of their lives while living it themselves, and some closed up shop. So McCullough was juggling so many balls, she says it hadn't even occurred to her to hire someone until CareerSource reached out seeing if she needed help.
My understanding of the services that they did was they helped people find jobs. They placed them on different jobs, but I had never heard of them helping business owners.
With all of the recruitment, hiring, and screening services, that's all available to them at no cost. And for small businesses, we can be their HR department in some respects.
So how many candidates were you given to look through? What was that process like as a business owner?
So the first batch that they sent me, it was about 8 candidates. So I was they allow you to look through all of them to see if their skill sets match what you need. And if not, they were very open, like, okay, we'll send you another batch.
In that second batch, McCullough said she found the perfect intern.
She was always on time. She was always willing to work late.
A recent graduate with a hospitality degree, considering a switch to therapy and counseling.
It's the skill set that they have and what I needed, here in my business. Definitely, someone that understands customer service, someone understands, how to put things in the system, someone that understands confidentiality.
Since July 1st, already months into the pandemic, CareerSource has helped more than 2,200 businesses, working with many to create internships.
We do that with small businesses in particular, so that they can actually have a sense to see how that person works and learns on the job. The person is earning dollars, the business is trying them out, and often they're hired on the job.
How much more of the focus ended up being on internships than normal because of the times we're in?
Oh, quite a bit during the pandemic, because there were so many people who were furloughed, and many of those small businesses, for example, received PPP loans, for example. They wanted to bring their workers back, but some of the workers either were still afraid to come back or had gone and found other jobs. And so now they were faced with actually having to recruit new workers.
Plus, many in the business community, she said, have needed their help interviewing and recruiting almost entirely virtually. That's included for-profit businesses, nonprofits, even government organizations. Not just for temporary intern positions that might lead to permanent employment, but also jobs that are full-time from the start. The day we spoke, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office had reached out about help recruiting and interviewing 911 operators. And McCullough's experience show even a temporary position can be eye-opening.
So once you had that help and then didn't have that help anymore, was it clear how much you needed that help?
It was very clear. So that's why now I'm looking for someone else now to fill that spot.
So is this something that you would do again?
I would. I definitely would do it again. I would do it all over again. You know, there's a lot of benefits for me that I got from her being with me those 12 weeks. I mean, it was a lot of work that I had her to do. She was always on time. You know, she was always willing to work late. You know, there are different projects that I had going on she was able to help with, and it was a big help. It made a difference. When she was gone, it was a difference.
Well, that will wrap up our special, Getting Central Florida Back to Work. You can learn more at CareerSourceCentralFlorida.com or by calling 1-800-757-4598. You can also get more details at 9Family.com. If your career was impacted by the pandemic, we hope these stories can help you emerge better prepared to return to work or start a new career. Good night.